every Republican has voted to keep the government open. Actually, in the Senate, it was a...
Yeah, they did vote to keep the government open. You know why? Because this whole shutdown is happening because the two sides of both the political parties can't agree on what to spend taxpayer-funded dollars on. What is up, guys? It's Jack White here for US Daily. We've got another episode coming at you. And today we're here to talk about the fact that US Secretary of Transportation, that's Sean Duffy, he's come out swinging and he's headhunted for Gavin Newsom. That's right. Let's have a little bit of a look at the video here. He's, of course, come out on Fox News and he's got a lot to say. And you can see definitely where his alliances lie.
In a job that's already stressful, this shutdown has put way more stress on our controllers. We're tracking sick calls, sick leave, and have we had a slight tick up in sick calls? Yes. And then you'll see delays that come from that.
Delays that come from that. Oh. It's a little bit more than wow. It's really bad. Now, these this shutdown in particular, the flow on, the domino effect that this is happening is not just for all government employees, okay? Because if you think about it, you have a shutdown and parks, the people who are working in the parks don't go to work because they're government employees. That is not just affecting those people in those jobs. Obviously, it affects the people who want to go to the parks. It affects their experience, but it also affects the entire tourism industry. So we're looking at a huge knock-on effect for all of this. Let's carry on and see what he has to say.
Pretty good jobs. Anywhere from 180 at the top end with overtime. Wow. In places like New York, you're pushing $400,000 a year.
Whoa.
So Gavin Newsom says this to you. Thanks, Donald Trump. Burbank Airport has 0 air traffic controllers.
Hello. Gavin Newsom says this to you. Thanks, Donald Trump. I mean, really, they love to attack and really just twist things around, don't they?
From 4:15 to 10 p.m. today because of your government shutdown. I know you guys like to spar. Do you have an answer?
And I mean, and that's facts, right? That's facts. That is exactly what happened.
This guy's unbelievable. The bottom line is, every Republican has voted to keep the government open. Actually, in the Senate, it was a...
Yeah, they did vote to keep the government open. You know why? Because this whole shutdown is happening because the two sides of both the political parties can't agree on what to spend taxpayer-funded dollars on. All right. Now, yeah, the Republicans want to keep it open. Of course they do, because they've said, hey, this is what we're doing with taxpayer dollars. And the Democrats are like, actually, there's no way you should be doing that with taxpayer dollars, right? Of course they want the government to stay open. Now, Trump has spat the dummy and thrown all of his toys out of the cot and decided, well, if I'm not getting my own way and we're not spending the money on what we want, I'll shut the government down, right? It's him calling them out. Okay, but who looks worse in all of this? That's what you got to ask yourself. Is it the Republicans or is it the Democrats?
Bipartisan vote. It was Democrats that voted to shut down the government, and Gavin Newsom wants to blame Donald Trump, who had a clean CR. They're fighting over potential money going into Obamacare and health care subsidies that happen at the end of this year, right? The reason they're shutting it down today is because illegals aren't getting health benefits today because of what Donald Trump did in the big, beautiful...
Illegals. Again, just twisting the word. It's not just about the illegals.
Concerned now, if they don't get their paychecks, how do I pay my mortgage? How do I pay my car payment? What do I do to put food on the kids' table? So the controllers yesterday were saying, we actually have to think about working 6 days a week, and then do I go out and take an Uber job and try to make extra money to put the food on the table? All because Chuck Schumer is trying to have this political fight instead of saying, let's do a clean CR, let's open the government up, let's have a conversation.
So what?
It's not just about a political fight. It's about the country. It's about the betterment of the United States of America. It's about what the taxpayer dollars go towards. Okay? And I hate to tell you this, but this is meant to be a democracy. Yeah. Remember that word.
Concerned about my own life, my own family. And what we do is say, again, I want people when they travel to get to where they're going. So if we don't have controllers, we're going to make sure the airspace is safe. So what we do is we'll slow traffic, will shut down traffic, and that's what you saw in Burbank. We saw, significant delays because controllers weren't there.
What's the shortage? What's the shortage of air traffic controllers?
About 2,000 right now. We're 2,000 short. So what we did is supercharge, get more controllers into the academy. And then when they get out of the academy, it takes them anywhere from a year to 2.5 years to get certified on the system. Well, there's a whole support staff that helps make that happen, Lawrence. And it's in Oklahoma City. But also when they get to their assigned tower, there's a support staff that helps train them up. And this is affecting their ability for new controllers to get trained. So it has a rippling effect at a time when we're trying to get more controllers in. This shutdown is making it more challenging.
How much do they get paid? Because this could be a plea. If you need a job, go to the academy. We need you.
These are actually pretty good.
Yeah, let's just put more people in. Don't worry about the people who are already in there trying to do their jobs.
Something else that's
really addictive. And by the way, it's not the 1960s marijuana.
Right.
This is way more dangerous stuff.
Yeah.
And then they're lacing it with other materials that are incredibly dangerous.
We talked a lot about that accident in Florida, talking about dangerous drivers. The guy who did a U-turn in the middle of, I think, I-95 and killed a bunch of people in the minivan. Now you are working hard to make sure that illegal immigrants don't get these commercial driver's license.
It was shocking. States were giving commercial driver's license to people who were not in the country legally or beyond their date of their work permit. So contrary to the law, these people were getting licenses. They're supposed to be able to speak English. A lot of these drivers can't speak English.
How did they pass the test?
That's the question, right? Fraud and abuse. Maybe some scams going on in these states. There's no way they could pass the test. They should have never got a license. And so what we've done is basically, put our rules out to the states to say, listen, we're going to pull your money back if you don't start to follow the law. And if you don't do that, we're going to revoke your ability to actually issue commercial driver's licenses. But this is affecting American drivers. We have Americans who have been in the trucking industry for 50 years, their family business. They can't do business anymore because you have these illegals coming in, living out of their trucks. They got teams of drivers. They're not safe. They can't speak the language.
And they come in underpriced, and they undercut.
Way underpriced.
Yeah. And they undercut. So, by the way, these are the states that halted the CDLs for illegal immigrant drivers. You got California, Oregon, Colorado, Pennsylvania, South Dakota, Texas, Washington, and Missouri. You're happy about that,
So
right?
all of these states have taken significant action. California was the worst offender, and they're actually starting to move in the right direction. Again, I want Americans driving our trucks.
So it was worse than you thought. When you first started diving into this is worse than you thought.
It was an epidemic. Illegals were driving trucks. And again, it's important. We saw during COVID how important our truckers.
Illegals driving trucks.
But you can't bring in illegals and have them operate on the road.
Why only 8 states? Why only 8 states? Why not South Carolina or Florida?
This is the start, right? So Florida was problematic, but we're looking at all the states right now. But yeah, you get a license, Lawrence, in California. That doesn't mean you stay with your CDL in California. You can drive anywhere in the country.
Sean, my dad's a truck driver. He's been telling me about this for years. But
can I just stop and remind everybody that this entire thing is happening right now while there's a government shutdown affecting airports and airport workers and air traffic controllers, and they've twisted the narrative to all of a sudden talk about things that supposedly the Democratic Party are doing wrong. During this time where people are out of work, the country is in disarray, the government is shut down, but this political spin, straight away flipping it around on its head, it's all about we're right, you're wrong. I mean, they're not even talking about the major topic at hand right now, which is that the country is in complete disarray purely because of this shutdown that's being used as leverage, as a bargaining chip, so that the Republican Party can get their own way. Sad.
Illegals and have them operate on the road.
Why only 8 states?
Years, but shouldn't the punishment be more severe? If you're putting someone on the road and you know they didn't pass that test, and your son, someone dies, you're a former prosecutor. They should be held criminally liable for that.
But am I going to prosecute Gavin Newsom for not following the law?
Of course. If people die.
Listen, I hear you. But what we have to do is make sure the states comply with our laws at the federal government when you issue these. But these people were driving school buses. You can't speak the language. You probably didn't pass the skills test, and you're not here legally, and you're driving our kids to school. That's the insanity in some of these liberal states. But I was surprised. You got Texas, you had the Dakotas. Conservative states were doing this as well, but they've all said, we're not going to issue these licenses anymore. We're done.
I just got to end where we started. There were delays in Denver, New York, Los Angeles, obviously in Newark, and in Hollywood, as you know, in Burbank. Is this going to get worse?
Listen, I hope not. I want our controllers to go to work. That's their job. They're important jobs. Eventually, they're going to get paid. Yeah. But we got to be honest. They're humans, and they're under pressure. And I do think this can have a rippling effect. And again, then you see more delays in the system. But again, Democrats can fix this. Open up the government.
Got you. Mr. Secretary, it's hard to see a guy with more taxed and doing a better job than you in Washington.
I appreciate that.
Thanks so much for everything.
Thank you so much, Mr. Secretary.
While you're modernizing all our equipment in air traffic
and
control.
taking care of 9 children.
That's right.
And getting us to the moon. I'm not kidding. And by the way, got reports, we did go to the moon in the 60s.
We did.
Confirmed.
I'm Steve. Okay, look, let's just have a look at some of the comments here because this is epic. All right, here we go. What the Transport Secretary Duffy should say is to every air traffic controller who comes into work during the government shutdown will get paid every penny for every hour of every day they work once the shutdown is over. To those who don't come into work, you won't get paid for the time. Simple as that. Don't know how that's going to happen. The law should apply to all drivers, not just CDL drivers. If you can't speak English, you don't drive. What's wrong with you people? Take the politician's salary money and pay the air traffic controllers until a resolve is done. You know what? From both sides, whether you're Republican or Democrat, yep, go for it. Anybody who works for the Fed has no savings for a week or two, shame on them. Why? Done with the Democratic Party. Of course, you're watching this particular network. Dems do not care about the citizens of this country. Trying to flip the script is a new generation thing. Force a shutdown and then point the finger at everyone else from the blame of the repercussions. Fox is on. What's this one say? Fox is on it. The Republicans wanted to fix it. I saw it. Even Fetterman agreed. If you only hear one side of the issue, it is a problem. Stay on it, Fox. Congressmen, women should not get paid during the government shutdown. I completely agree. That will give them the incentive to work and get it done. Again, on both sides of this. Come on, guys, work together. You're here for the people. You're servants of the people. Stop paying Congress and criminal blue states. What a label. Oklahoma is on that list of restricting invaders. We love the big, beautiful shutdown. Oh, boy. So there you have it. Lots of interesting information there. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are about all of this. Leave a comment in the comments section below. And once again, thanks for joining us here. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this around with people who you think would like to hear this and would benefit from it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.